everybody.
Hi,
Hey.
everybody.
Sorry, I'm sharing out.
Okay.
How's
everybody
everybody's week
doing?
been doing?
Yep.
Great minds think alike.
Yep. um, Good. I had a nice weekend with family and stuff, so it was nice. Didn't get to go
Awesome.
swimming, but I wanted to go swimming, but we didn't get to go swimming.
How's your week been, Tina?
Great. Great. I woke up. God has blessed me every day. So
Absolutely.
if I can show a picture, is that okay?
Go for it.
There's my dad. He turned 80 this past
Aw.
weekend.
Aw.
Yeah.
Happy
He is still
birthday,
going
Tina's
strong.
dad.
Yeah. And we
Happy
got to go
birthday.
down. We had a fabulous, fabulous party for him. And he had so many old friends that came and showed up. And it was just amazing. And, if you still have your parents, you need to appreciate that. He was very emotional as far as, what was going on and everything. But he was so thankful and gave all glory to God that he's still here. For one, there's been some health issues in the past, but that his children were together, that there was so many friends that came out. It was really great. It was really great. So,
Well, I am so glad you got to spend that time with
Yeah.
him. That was so special.
We
yeah.
did. We did with my dad was terminal, and he made it to his 80th birthday. He was inviting anybody and everybody to the party. He was so cute, he was in hospice at home, and he was inviting all the nurses. You go to the doctors, you invite the doctors and the nurses there, and
You didn't know your dad was a party animal, did you?
oh, he was. My father was the happiest with big crowds. So, but yeah, he had his birthday was August, and then he died that February. So so he made it to that was his goals, to make it to his 80th birthday.
Well,
So,
Mother's Day is Sunday. So if your mothers are still here, you better take care of them and be appreciative of them. I know
Happy
you guys.
Mother's Day, ladies.
yep.
Ahead of time.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy early Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I know you both don't have your mothers here, so
Nope.
but I'm grateful that I still have mine.
Yeah.
Well, I have Chad's mom, and she's very good to me. She tries to make my birthdays, everything special. She does, she was close with my mom. So, yeah. So, it's good. We're not going to talk about this because I'm going to go. So,
Well, that's okay. We'll cry with you.
so,
I'm
anyway.
just very lucky I still have mine.
Appreciate your mothers when you have them, because when they're gone,
That's it.
They're gone.
You lose your best friend.
Yep. My mom was my rock. So, anyway, I won't talk about it no more. So how are you doing, Sally? I heard you're on restriction or jailed or something.
Yeah, I'm out here, been sequestered to Walmart to run their dedicated out here in Wyoming. 14 days of purgatory.
Why are they keeping you there for so long? Are you just moving from place to place, loading and unloading, or?
I run from the DC out to the stores, making sure everybody's got their product that they need. So people do not hoard the poop paper.
I'm going to go and get me.
You might need to.
So.
Well, given the rate that food processing plants are burning, I mean, we had 13 last month. burn?
16.
16. My
And
bad.
was
then
that
an
one you and
additional
I were talking
one
about,
this
Sally?
week. An additional one this week.
Yeah,
Well, that was started Saturday night,
that was
Sunday morning.
Virginia. You and I were talking about it, and also some positive news and about the agricultural guy. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. Hi,
Thanks,
Sharon.
Thank you, Miss
Mom.
Sharon.
Thanks, Mom.
Uh, so, um, so military arrest. Biden's Secretary of Agriculture, agriculture,
Agriculture.
Tom Vilsack. So he was arrested and he's going to be tried for treason.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
One down.
One
500 to
down.
go.
It's happening. Things are happening. It's like today in DC, I was watching Kelly Marie, and she posted some pictures. She had watched some videos, and then she posted because she had seen brown pants or feds, but they were U.S. Marshals. So there's U.S. Marshals down in D.C. What are they doing there? Don't know yet. So, everybody is connecting the dots. Things are happening. People may think it's not happening, but there's a lot of stuff happening that we don't see. And Trump just had a rally, and he had 2 hours. I have not watched the whole rally because I was out Sunday, with Chad's family. And and he did it. That's the first time he's ever done a 2-hour rally that I know about.
Yep.
So, and he.
Well, the marshals are probably out there because of the Supreme Court leak, because that's going to start.
Possible.
That's going to start the
Oh,
riots again.
It's already started.
It's already starting. Yeah, there's a lot starting.
And you know what? I got a theory about that. I think our newest Supreme Court Justice, Miss Ketanji Brown, whatever her name is, I think she leaked that out. I really do.
Love you too, Sharon.
I don't know about that because they're not going to say where the leak came from. Just like they're not.
Well, it's going to take them some time to come out, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was right there.
Well,
they're doing some investigations. They're saying they're going to do investigations about it, but at the same time, weren't we supposed to be investigating Hunter's laptop, and where the hell is that gone on the news?
Well, if they ever find it in the FBI,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If they ever find it in the FBI office, maybe they can investigate it.
Yeah. Well, DeSantis did a video out today. He had, and he is calling out DC to investigate this. He called this a real insurrection, not January 6th. It was not an insurrection. I don't care what anybody says. It was not an insurrection. Those people were let in. The videos are out now, and if you have seen the videos, you can see that the cops let them all in. And there's Antifa, BLM, and feds were all involved in that.
Do you have the videos?
I can get the videos. Yeah, I posted them.
And come to speak of that,
you should show them here.
One of the guys who was prosecuted for being one of the rioters was exonerated because he had video showing all of this. That the police just opened the doors and let him in.
Yeah, and they also showed. Now, did you know that another woman died that day, other than Ashley Babbitt?
Yeah, she had a heart attack.
No, they beat her. The cops.
Beat her?
They showed the cops beating her.
I did not see that video.
And the people were trying to drag her off because she fell to the ground unconscious, and they kept beating her as they were dragging her off. and
Oh,
they
wait a minute.
and then they
Is
got
that the
her.
one where the lady cop was beating on her?
I think so. And they got her. They literally they picked her up, brought her inside, put her on a gurney, and they were trying to resuscitate her, and she was dead on arrival.
Well, I thought that was a different whole ride. I mean, they have so many of them.
No, that was January 6th. I've seen the videos. So the thing is that Facebook is blocking me from like anything videos that are longer than maybe 2-3 minutes. Now some I have shared that were longer than 5 minutes, but they're picking and choosing
What videos?
what I
They're
can
doing.
send from Telegram onto Messenger.
It's not
So-
just Telegram, it's YouTube too, because I've had to try to share some videos to y'all. Will not let me share them.
Really? We lost Tina. Okay, maybe she'll be back. But yeah, they had they're limiting me from sending a bunch of stuff. If I post it on Facebook and then share it from there, but then I get violated. I get violations. So yeah, but this is the J6 committee. I'll have to find the videos and I'll try and see if I can send them to you. Maybe we can talk about it on the next show. But yeah, I mean, the videos are kind of long. Maybe on BitChute, you can find them probably on BitChute. They probably on there. So we'll see, but did Tina leave us or?
I don't know.
Oh, here she comes.
She may have had one of them emergency breaks.
No, I'm back.
But
My internet, I don't know. It's in and out.
yeah,
They're monitoring, I'm sure. So
yeah,
I'm
Anyway.
quite sure they are.
they can monitor all
So,
they want. They want.
what you guys
not-
what were you guys talking about then?
The J6. I was saying that because Telegram, that the videos are long and it's like I can send like stupid stuff to Messenger, but
Mhm.
like things like the J6 or anything political.
Oh, okay.
that
Well, I'm going to show another picture. Hang on.
Okay.
What would you do? If something is happening to you or to somebody else, what would you do? I mean, right now, people are just pull out their phones and start videoing
taking
it.
pictures.
You
Yeah.
know,
They don't help.
I
No.
mean,
they wouldn't help that person you guys were talking about before I got like thrown off of internet.
Yeah.
They would just pull out their phones and start
Mhm.
videoing it just for their own Facebook or for their own Twitter.
Yeah.
well,
Even Twitter.
they're all trying to they're trying to get their next hot spot. They want to be the next sizzling video.
Well, they
I-
wanted to go viral. So
but ask
Donna.
yourself
Hey, Donna.
personally, what would you do? Well, somebody is thrown down onto the ground, like we're talking about that lady that got beat.
I would be in there trying to get her out.
Mm-hmm.
Would
Well-
you fight? Would you fight the people?
Yes,
That
I'd fight
were
the people to help
kicking
somebody
and-
who's getting the hell beat out of them.
I would. Yeah, they had her by the ankles, and it was like a tug of war. It was disgusting because when she was down the ground, and I don't know who was hitting her. If it was that lady cop, I don't know. You would not. It's all out on video. It's all coming up, and so we're, hopefully, we'll get to hear some more. But it's like things come out, it gets hot, and then it gets shoved under the carpet, just like, hey Ross, just like Hunter's laptop, just like Biden's thing with him. Look at what they had that that mainstream media roast they had last week, and Trevor, what is his name? Trevor.
I didn't see that. What are you talking about?
You didn't see any of it?
Mainstream media roast?
Yeah, it was a mainstream media. Hang on one second. I can't share videos from my Facebook thing, but I know where these videos are, but one of the one of the things, Biden's sitting there talking about, um, about Trevor. Hang on one second. Let me get his name. He's with what's her name? Sorry. Um, he was like the main speaker for the night. They had other speakers, but he was like roasting Trevor. Here it is. Trevor doesn't have his last name, but he's with what's her name? That Kardashian girl.
Oh, Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian. So he was like the lead host of the MSM. It was to honor mainstream media. What a great job they've done for the year of, but Trevor had got some knocks in there, and then Biden got up and spoke. Now Biden wasn't supposed to be there because they were afraid of COVID, of him getting COVID. And
they were probably worried about what he was going to say.
Well, it wasn't Biden, bloomin' idiot Biden. It was actor Biden.
I mean, now they have 2 more variants out of COVID.
Yeah. And I said 2 weeks ago that I had heard about one of the variants. It attacks your intestinal systems, and a lot of people are having stomach issues. That's one of the variants that are out.
Ginger. Eat a lot of ginger.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm not scared of the COVID variants. This is what I am scared of. This is in Arizona. No, this is in Arizona. This past couple of days, they are out of the unleaded regular. They're out of the unleaded plus, and all they have.
They're pushing the premium.
And where is this?
Arizona. My cousin, she sent this to me, and she lives in Arizona. I'm not going to tell you.
And guess what? Your premium and your diesel are the exact same price.
There you go. Look at that. Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I mean, it's close enough. But
California, the diesel fuel is almost $7 a gallon.
Well, I was traveling this past weekend. Okay, and normally when we go through Oklahoma, it's cheaper as far as gas, right? It was more expensive than where in Missouri and Kansas where we went through. And then when we get to Texas, it was $3.99, $3.96 in town. Now where my sister was living, it was $4.09 a gallon. This was in Texas. And usually Texas is even cheaper than up here in Kansas and Missouri. So you guys buckle up and get ready. It's coming to your town. It's coming to your state. It's coming to you.
There are thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of owner-operators that are getting ready to park because they can't afford the fuel to run.
Shit, they're going to go bankrupt. I mean, it's
even the fuel surcharges that they're getting on the freight aren't even putting a dent in it. When they pull up to a fuel station, like the one I'm at, you can see in the background, that's a fuel aisle.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, when they pull up, they're putting in $1,000, $1,500, the owner operators. Me, myself, I'm putting in close to $900.
Oh, goodness. I mean, like Carl is just banging this. Why did they send Pelosi to Ukraine? Well,
yeah. Well, we're hoping they'll keep her there.
Well, see, we were talking about this last night. That they were talking about Pelosi and Schumer and Shifty Schiff. They all went to, and some other Dems went over there. So what happened is that the trip was supposed to be to Poland, not to Ukraine, and Chuckett had said that they did invite the they did invite the Republicans to go, but there was no, they weren't interested in going to Poland. Now, this is their version of it. This is not probably what really happened, and that Ukraine just happened to be an unexpected trip. There's
Hey,
no,
Putin,
no.
aim a missile. Don't let her get back.
Yes, amen, Sally.
Why would they
Just
send,
aim it at her.
why would they send the Speaker of the House to Ukraine to do our bidding for our country?
Because they can't send Biden because they can't trust what he's going to say
Well, they
in
can't.
his
They can't.
diminished
But the thing is,
capacity.
we have a president, we have a vice president, we have Secretary of State, we have
You mean Cackle and Betty?
we have
They are
Yes, our
trying to
Defense
divert the
Department. Those are the ones that
conversation
should
from
be out
Title
there.
42
those are the ones that
They are
should be
trying to
out
divert the
there doing our
conversation.
bidding.
because sent her over there to divert the conversation from Title 42 that's about to expire
Yeah,
and
on the
divert
23rd.
everything that is
Mhm.
from the border that has been coming in. It's not getting any better. They're trying
Well,
to divert that conversation over to the war that has nothing to do with us, not in the it only I'm going to bring up India here in just a second. That war over there it is not about the United States. It is about NWO.
it's about the mafia.
And it's about diverting.
That war is about them preserving what they have over there, about the biolabs, about their money laundering, about the trafficking of children. It's all about that.
It's about the good old boy system.
It's about money. And so, you know, and I may joke about some things I say about how much money was on that plane, going to be on that plane when they come back. That's no joke because they launder money there. I've seen Russians have exposed Biden seeks added 33 billion. Yeah. This is now how did it go from 7 billion or 8 billion to now 33
how did it go
billion?
how did it go from the 2 billion originally that they asked for to 33 billion?
It was
That's right.
7 billion a week or something like that, or a month.
They're trying to divert your attention from what they're trying to do here in the
Everything
United States.
is a distraction.
But I thought the governor of Texas stopped
Hey, citizen.
the demise of Title 42. That he was going to keep enforcing it.
Right.
Even if the federal government didn't.
I don't know. I didn't read about that yet, but hopefully that's a possibility. I hope it's a possibility. Now
that's the buzz I'm hearing.
Well, the 2 million that they were talking about that came across the border with Title 42, 1.73 were sent back or to wait in Mexico. We did something about that.
They ain't saying the buses.
They're not sending anybody back. Title 42 was for the health reasons, right?
Now, I understand that, but the 2 million, they did cross the border. That's a true statement. But even the big social media, even on Fox, they never said that they sent 1.73 million back. I've looked this up. We did the thing about Title 42, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And yes, they did cross the border, but the Title 42 sent 1.73 million back. Now to hold in
Those
Mexico.
Those are only the documented ones.
No, I understand. I got that too.
That were undocumented and what
who knows?
Dealers, cartels.
Who knows?
Children.
The assistant pastor of our church just got back from the border. He's National Guard. He was called up. He just got back. And the ghost look in his face, because I saw him this weekend. The ghost look in his face, it was intense. You could feel it coming off of him. Right. And I have no answers or conclusions as far as how we're going to deal with all of this stuff.
Look at all that Mike Miller had showed. All the times that he was at the border and how everything was happening there, and they were coming over in boatloads, and they're taking them in. They're not turning them back. It's all
Yes.
crock of crap. They're not turning them back. They're taking them
Right.
into their country, and they're
And
they're
Vince,
sick.
and Vince, yes, we did it. We did a whole show or half a show about this with Title 42, so we understand it's for health reasons. But they,
And the thing is that people that are coming across that river, what is that river?
Rio Grande.
The Rio Grande.
One of those rivers.
Sorry. I have so much information in my head, because I do so much research, and it doesn't always come off the top. It doesn't. I can't speak it out half the time. But anyway, they had yesterday or the day before yesterday,
Gotcha.
and I posted the video. They're swimming across. They can't swim. They're drowning.
Well, that's why one of our military servicemen lost his life trying to save somebody who was carrying
They did not send that many back.
fentanyl.
They disappeared.
We did a thing,
First them,
Vince.
right.
I don't know, 3 weeks ago about it. So that's what we're
Well, we
talking
talked about
but
the drowning last week because it had just happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Vincent is, I mean, that's how, I mean, Vincent and I think we talked about this on his show last week about the language barriers, how we're going to distinguish, who they are.
Sign language, that way, this way, stop. That's how you communicate. I deal with it every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Luke.
Universal sign languages. And I can't show the one I really like.
I was gonna say, which one you want me to show you?
Read behind the lines here.
Yeah, we got some lines here, don't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean,
God forgive me.
The stuff that's going on, people,
Well, when
they watch the news, they watch the fake media.
the fake
Even
media.
like Trevor, and I'll try during the break. I'll try and find that one video at the end. I mean, he's talking about, gas inflations and stuff like that, all done by the, Biden administration. And they zoom in on Biden and he's cracking up laughing. He's laughing at us. They are doing this to us and they are laughing at us because they're not affected of it. They're trying to keep us poor. They want their elite status, and we're going to be down in these little 50-story buildings where they're going to try and shovel us all through and take our lands away from us.
No, what they're going to be
already
doing is
it.
they're shipping them into these great big huge urban centers where
Right.
nobody really gives a damn about anybody else.
Well, they will.
That's
when
why
the crime rate goes
that's
through
why
the
all the rent rates are going up, because they're getting $25,000 a pop for an illegal immigrant to set up shopkeeping.
Yeah.
That chaps my butt.
Yeah.
It's my money.
It's ridiculous. It's
the
30% of my income goes to pay for their upkeep.
Illegals in our country.
The rent rates, I mean, this is all across the country, okay? And I will have to go back and get some verification to show on here. But Blackwater, the investment company, they are buying up property and turning them into rent property so that you can't. That's why the housing rate here is just going astronomical through the roof, and you can't even rent
Well, I mean, it's like Lady Maga
house for less than $2,000.
Right.
I mean, and this is going on all across the country. They're trying to push you into the urban or the metropolitan areas so that they can regulate you.
It's like Lady Maga. Lady Maga.
Yes.
Had an $800 a month 2-bedroom apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She lost that, or he lost that, depending on what he's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Lost it because they jacked it up from $800 a month to $1,500 a month, and he can't afford it.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I can't afford a rent increase. You know what? I got a 10. I can live very well in it.
Right.
That's right. I'll give you my backyard. You can rent my backyard.
My daughter lives in a 1-bedroom apartment, and they jacked up her price. And it's a small place for her and her daughter. And,
Ours
if they
went up
go up
last
anymore,
year.
she's not going to
Yeah.
be able to afford it.
Well,
Huh?
I mean, my daughter applied for a place. I'm not going to disclose this location because of
Right.
issues.
Right.
When they did the background check, they said they wanted $4,300 as a down payment,
Yeah.
as a deposit, and $2,100 a month
Crazy.
for her and the
Yes,
kids.
ma'am.
Yep.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
How the heck can
Yeah.
a single mom take care of her kids with that kind of rate increase?
Well, that's the thing, is that if you can afford that, you can go buy your own home. It's
That's
cheaper.
right.
Your payments would be way cheaper.
Oh, she
Then-
asked him.
No,
She
not
said,
right now.
I did not know I was buying the darn thing.
You can't
Yeah.
even buy a home right now with, I mean, the home values have quadrupled here
Oh, yeah.
across the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people that they sold their home because they're worth so much now and moved into an apartment, which, is ridiculous,
Mhm.
waiting or trying to find another home.
Yeah.
And they cannot even get a home right now
Right.
because the rates and the prices. I mean, as soon as they put a bid in on it, somebody else outbids them.
Oh, they
And
go
that's what I
fast.
was.
It's
Well,
not just that,
My
because-
girlfriend is in that process right now.
I was
it-
talking
back-
about BlackRock. The BlackRock is buying up properties for cash and
Yeah.
and cutting out us that are trying to buy a home.
Right. They're
Yeah.
eliminating the options for us.
They
Well,
are. They're
BlackRock can buy it, and they can build it. They can build an $80,000 home,
Mhm.
house and property. They can get 3.5 for it easy.
Well,
Yeah.
and then they'll turn them into rental properties that we cannot afford, and they're trying to
Right.
push us into
Right.
metropolitan areas.
Yeah.
To control us.
Just
I-
going
Well-
down my main road, Chad and I were driving down the road and we saw 3 houses. I didn't even know they were rentals because I've never seen any rental signs on them, but we've seen piles of stuff. I guess they got kicked out of the houses because they probably went up on the rent and the people can't
Yeah.
afford them. On our community page, I am seeing people looking for rental homes that they can go that are under $1,000. You're not going to find that anymore.
Mm-mm.
Not even in the
Nowhere.
No, but
Nowhere.
I live, we live in we live in a decent area, but people, this is 2 income families and they have children in school and they can't afford to pay pay for rent. They can't afford to buy a house. So what are we going to have? A bunch of homeless people now with
No,
kids?
you're going to have a bunch of RVers buying these big bumper and fifth wheel pull
Oh,
campers.
I wish I had the picture of the Oregon interstate, and that was even a couple of weeks ago. The Oregon
yeah.
interstate, remember?
Yeah,
Because
yeah. I
these-
have
these
that.
RV centers and RV
I have it
parking
somewhere.
spots, they're going in like wildfire, and they're not just for old folks. These people have children with them because they cannot afford a home.
Yeah. No.
Yes, ma'am.
And,
Yep.
But the thing is, you have to be able to afford an RV, and then where are you going to park it? On the side of the road with children? You can't.
You can do something called a dispersed camping.
Right.
They
but
got
also-
all these RVs, KOAs.
Yeah,
they're using.
KOAs. But they
And-
also have just RV parks across the nation. I mean,
and-
and I'm sure they've
if-
gone up in prices too. But
oh,
the thing is,
absolutely.
like in my area where the kids go to school, these families are getting displaced from these homes that they can't afford to rent or stay on top of the mortgage, whatever. I mean, some people have balloon mortgages. Can you imagine that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
This is
I can. I mean,
this is
that's
back
that.
in Obama's era again, where the banks pulled this crap on the people. When we
Well,
were,
you know what? When the housing market explodes and implodes, and everybody loses their ass, and they've got all this real estate they're wanting to get rid of,
Yeah.
Everybody who has lost a home because of their damn greed is going to say, no, you come down to my price, I'll buy it.
Maybe. This house
We're not going back to
foreclosure.
that place in America. We're not going back to it. I'm
We're going
sorry.
that way. Watch the stock
Well,
market.
Yeah.
Even BlackRock is taking a huge hit. Their stocks are
Oh,
dropping.
yeah. There's
Well,
well,
I get that, but at the same time,
people pulling
if we
their
can't
money out.
afford to live in our own homes, or even take on the rent that they're asking for now, that this is they're put the U.S. I mean, even Biden said, New World Order, and we have to be the leader in it. I know he's just a puppet. I know that. Okay.
I don't think
Um,
the New World
he.
Order is going to go through.
I think it will.
I don't think it
Oh,
is. Some of the stuff that
oh.
I've been
Because
reading and
he's
researching,
just the puppet where they're pulling the strings.
I don't think. I think that things. I
We
think that
have one more year of grace, as what my feeling is, or my gut, that God gives my
we
gut, and all that, and yeah, I mean, sit there and live and believe that, but they've been pushing
we
this
get
since
the House
way
and the Senate
back when.
things. I think that if we can get the House and the Senate, things will turn around. Then I think that's when we'll start seeing
Well,
things start to better for our country.
Trump messed up their plan. Okay, Trump
Right,
had 4
and
years,
he's
and he
continuing to
messed
do
up
it,
their plan. Okay,
and
he
he's
messed
still
up their
doing it.
plan. But you got Obama pulling the puppet strings of Biden right now, and he is literally Biden is just the face of the presidency. I mean, you've got Obama right back behind him pulling the puppet strings.
Mm-hmm. So I was
Well,
laughing.
and the bad
That's all
thing
right.
is exactly what Vince said. I can probably drive around this truck stop and see at least 6 people living in their cars right here.
That's it's
Holy
And
cow!
their
I can
and their
just go down the.
vans.
I can go
This
down the
is this is
street.
this is not counting trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are truck drivers out here just like me
Yeah.
living in a truck because it doesn't make sense to pay high rent when you only get to see a house for 3 days.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
No.
Why?
I don't. I agree.
So when I'm talking about the homeless people, I see them every day.
Yeah, I imagine you do.
They're living in cars. They're living in SUVs. They're living in minivans. They're living in campers.
Oh,
Well,
you guys want to talk about homeless? I can
right.
I can do
Well,
it. I do
when
40. I do 40 meals a week,
Well, I
and
mean,
taking them.
it's like Tina.
You know
She's trying to help these people get back on their feet because they've
right,
lost everything.
right.
everything, and it is
You know,
so.
it's no fun trying to
It is so
rebuild your life.
sad.
I've done it. I've not done it
I
once,
went
but I've
down,
done
and
it twice.
this was just last week,
This is
because
exactly
I
what
was
I
going to
was
be out of
saying.
town Friday. Well, I was going to be out of town this past Friday because I had to go down for my dad, and so I had to come a day early. And I was talking to a guy down there, and I said, I've got this, because people donate stuff to me to take, where I'm going. I said, I've got this, and he's like, these people come here and they have nothing, absolutely nothing. So anything that you have and you want to bring, I mean, I'm not going to take them, some crappy, BS stuff or anything like that. But he said they come here with nothing. They need a pair of shoes. They need a t-shirt. They need underwear. They need a toothbrush. They need it. You guys, this is really important to me. So, if you can get with a shelter and find out how you can donate, how you can take things to them. These people are out there. They're on the
Well,
freaking street, literally with nothing. Nothing.
well, the thing is that a lot of the people that are on the street are veterans. They're very
Oh,
grateful people. They're very. Let me finish. Let me finish.
I am. I'm
They're very
going
private.
to, because
They're
it just
very
affects me
proud
though.
people. They don't want help. We have them in our community. We have tried to help them. We have tried to give them clothing, give them blankets, give them jackets. They don't want it because they don't stay in one place. They move from place to place, and that's just more stuff that they have to carry around with them.
Well, they'll
They
take
have
it. They'll
denied.
take it if they need it.
They'll take food.
They'll
They'll
take
take
it if they
money.
need it. Yeah, they'll take it if they need it.
No, not here, because we have veterans in our community, and our community page have taken a collection. There are people that go out there and talk to them and try and help them, because we have a boat ramp, and that is by our boat ramp. That's by us, is where a lot of the homeless hang out. There's a covered cabana kind of thing there with picnic tables, and you'll go
Yeah,
down
gazebo.
gazebo, thank you. And you'll see them sleeping on the picnic tables or sleeping on the seats of the picnic tables. There's a bathroom there, there's a facility there that they can use. And you'll go over there and you'll ask them, say, can I give you anything? They'll take food.
Well,
Some
they
of
need.
them,
They
some
need.
people will
They need
take
to
food,
eat.
but they won't take clothing. They will not take blankets. They tell you, I have all that I need. That's
Well,
what they
that's what
tell
I'm
you.
saying.
I mean, they only
They
take
don't-
what they need because they know there's people out there with kids that
right,
really need it.
right. And when I go
Yeah.
see my
And when
daughter
you're
in
when
San
you're when you're
Antonio,
first when you're first out of the military, you're pretty damn tough.
some
You
are,
live on
some
less
aren't.
than that. You learn to live out of a duff and a rug. That's
Some of
it.
them, well, that's what kind of irritates me about the military, and I'm really scared. Not so much. I mean, back when, and now, and you guys have probably seen this and heard about this. Before you get discharged from the military, you go through psych evals, you go through physicals, you go through everything. They check you head to toe, inside and out, to make before you get discharged. Now, are they doing this the same? Are they doing the same for them now? I mean, that Trump had built up our military. He had done so much for our veterans. He had built up our military. He had done everything to ensure that they were taken care of, especially the veterans. And
Well,
now, with this Biden administration, what did they cut in our military? My daughter just went to a funeral, and it's really hit her, because on the flip side of it, one of her commanders committed suicide. So
Sally just had the same thing happen in her family. Remember
right,
last
and
week?
that's why I'm bringing this up. So we're having
Good.
all this stuff. So is nobody taking care of these people anymore? They're not.
No,
The medical.
they're not.
once they leave the military, they're on their own.
Did you guys know that? All these they're pulling them from these veteran hospitals and sending them down to the borders. So who's taking care of veterans in the hospitals? They're going to have to be put on a waiting list. Right.
Well,
According
according to healthrankings.org, in 2000, and this was 2019, and this was less than the year before.
Yeah. Hi, Ruth.
Okay, freezing up.
Yep. Tina, you're freezing up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
261 veterans.
You had frozen
Okay,
up.
maybe now? I know. I can see the
Sorry.
little, thing spinning. But, veterans in 2019, and this was less than the year before, it was 6,261 suicide deaths. And
Right.
this was according to healthrankings.org, because I looked it up last night, because, I mean, this is a serious issue. So,
It's very serious.
and now we're in 2022. They didn't put the rankings out for that yet. But, in America, I mean, it's just suicide is the 10th leading cause of death, and it's not even just for just veterans. It's just the 10th leading cause of death. You
Mhm.
know, it's not shooting people, you know, going out and, you know, being a thug and killing somebody, or, you know,
Mhm.
even accidents, you know, car accidents and things like that. But suicide, 10th leading cause of death in the United States. But then we have veterans, they cannot even get the help that they need. You
Right.
That's
know,
right.
so what is going on here? And like you said, Barb, they're sending our doctors down to help at the border.
Right. So that means less service for our veterans
Less
in these
for our
hospitals.
veterans. If you look up in California and just in LA, the
Mhm.
veterans on the street, living
Mhm.
on the street. I mean, they have a whole
Oh, it's
camp.
disgusting.
I saw this, oh my gosh, this was even 5 months ago. And
Yeah.
thankfully Fox News showed it. But I mean, they're tense, and you know, it's ridiculous. The people that took care of us, we can't even take care of them.
Mhm.
Well, I
Why?
mean, Miss
I'm
Kimberly
sorry.
just came back from a rally,
Mhm.
and right there on the Atlanta State Capitol,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they had tents right across the street from the state capitol because it's public land, and they can stay there for 14 days.
Right.
Then they have to move.
Right. And well, you know, we were talking earlier about the riots that are going to happen. You know, if this
Oh.
Roe versus Wade gets turned around or it doesn't get turned around, it's going. And my thing is, we have all these homeless people on the streets now with families, with children, and they're so vulnerable, and these people are going to go bonkers, and they're going to go after them. We're going
It's
to
another,
we're going to
it's another
target them, and
distraction
then it's
going
going to
into
be
20 that November. It's another distraction that they're going to create going
right,
into
They're
November.
trying
right,
to discredit the Republican Party.
right, right.
But I'm telling you right now, this is just a diversion.
It's not going to be any different, and it's not going to happen in the Republican states. It's going to happen in the Democrat side. Well, let me phrase that. It's
Mhm.
not going to happen in the real Republican states where we don't have a rhino for a governor. It's going to
What they're
happen in the Democrat states because they welcome that stuff because they can sit there and say, "Look what's happening to our state," and they're going to blame it on the Republicans.
I know I would be blaming it on the damn Democrat Party because that's what they did with Trump.
They did. They
Trump, if they
had
just said
blamed
Trump
all
did
that
it.
stuff.
This was the documents I saw were
They're
from
still
February.
blaming Trump. He's been out of office how long now? And this still, even Biden, well, actor Biden at that mainstream media thing was blaming, still in his speech, blaming Trump for everything that's happening in our country. And then he's sitting there saying, and blaming the virus on them now. And I'm like,
And
are you freaking for real? Get over yourself. And he's laughing.
but the
Laughing.
thing is, it's not a government thing that Roe v. Wade that they're trying to do. They're taking it out of the federal hands, just like Vince said. They're leaving it up to the states to decide what amount of abortions they're going to allow.
Yeah.
Well, if I mean, just look at Texas. I mean,
Yeah.
they have already put in their own legislature.
And you know what?
Um,
I'm sorry. There are certain elements of rape where abortion could be all right. But then there are some, like all these little promiscuous girls running around out there, spreading it and bearing it for
Mhm.
every little hard leg that walk by
Right.
spreading and bearing
that that won't wants the fun, but they don't want to lose that little girly figure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's just a way for them to have an irresponsible out
Well,
for
you
their
know,
irresponsible lifestyle. There
well,
are parents out
mhm.
there, there are people out there that are looking for babies. They're looking for a
Plenty.
child to adopt and love.
Well, it's just the thing is that
Why
the
kill them?
abortions went from how many weeks? 6 weeks, 5 weeks
5
to
weeks.
now after birth, the baby is
Up to
born
2
at
months after birth.
full term.
2 months. 2 months after
28
birth, they
days.
can still.
28
Exactly.
days.
So that's murder. That is freaking murder. I'm
That's
sorry.
murder. That is murder.
That's
I
murder.
absolutely agree.
No,
You know,
that's patting somebody who's doing stem cell research for genetic modification.
Right.
We've already been through this.
I completely
It's for other
support.
things too, and we've talked about that, adrenochrome, body parts being sold,
Yes.
you know.
But I completely support each individual person's
Right. Evil.
decisions as far as their own self, because they have to account to God for themselves. Okay. And you cannot interfere with a person's relationship with God. You just can't. He doesn't allow it.
Well,
And we all have our own opinions. We all have our own convictions. We all have our own, what would we do, or this and that. But ultimately, to me, it comes down to you answer to the higher power,
Right.
in your own choices.
Well, it plainly states in Scripture, God knew you before you ever took your first breath.
Absolutely.
He knew what you were going to do.
He knows every hair on your head.
Right.
But if you make the wrong decision, I can almost guarantee you there will be a consequence for it.
Well, of course there will.
Because I know a girl.
But that's not between you and that girl. That's between that girl and God.
Right.
I know a girl who had an abortion back in the early 80s. Whenever she graduated high school, got married, started having a family, her husband got enough money to buy his own airplane, get his own license. And he and his son was up flying one day, and right in front of their house, they crashed. She lost her husband and her son. She, to this day, will tell you that it's God's vengeance on her for taking one life. He took two.
Well, that's still her relationship with God. That has nothing to do with you judging her or telling her.
I'm not judging her. I'm not judging her. I'm not telling her what to do. But she plainly told me, she said, if I had not been out doing the things I was doing, I would have not gotten pregnant.
And you know what?
Being wild.
You can give testimony to that. You absolutely, but that is still her relationship with him.
Oh yeah.
So
he spared her. He left her one girl, and she flat told her daughter, that you don't do this.
You can live by
this
example.
Is the result.
You can live by example.
Right.
Am I going to do this? Or I can show you that you don't have to do this. I'll give you another option. I'll give you another choice.
Right.
So I don't know why she did it, as far as when she did it. But at the same time, that's her own relationship with God, and I don't interfere with anybody's relationship with God.
I don't either.
No,
I never judged her. She's still a good friend to this day.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I will not. I won't judge my neighbor. I won't judge them. It's not my place. It's not my place.
That's right. It's not.
I don't judge people. What I will judge, and God forgive me, you have a full-term baby, and you abort that full-term baby. I'm sorry.
I don't agree. I don't agree with it.
People out there that would.
That's murder.
Would die for a baby, to have a baby. I don't believe a full-term baby should be aborted. This is pure evil. Like Ruth said, it's sick, and these people should. There's a special place in hell for them. I'm sorry. I could never.
It will happen.
I mean, I can't say that if I was ever raped and got pregnant, that I would mentally, I would say, I need to get rid of this baby, because that would just every day would remind me of that incident. I can't say that I wouldn't do it. People get raped every day. They get pregnant too. So how is that going to be? For them.
There are famous people out there
for that, but to have a full-term baby or, I mean, life begins at conception. That's what I believe.
That's what I
You know?
believe.
And I believe that if you, I mean, if you get rid of that baby, then that's like Tino's saying, that's between you and God.
A
And
baby is a gift from God.
yes, but
A
I mean,
gift.
I feel stronger towards someone that would abort it at full term versus in the beginning of stages.
It's the same thing.
Uh,
In my eyes, in my heart, in my relationship,
Right.
it's the same thing.
Right.
It is a life.
Right. Right.
It's
And I
growing.
get
It's
that.
and it's developing. It's a life.
Right. I get that.
That is a child.
Right. But there's also circumstances around things, and I I know you can't it's one way or another. I understand that. But like I said, people have their way of thinking, and it's between them and God. But I also have my way of thinking that in certain circumstances, that for somebody to have to go through a 9-month period of being raped and have to deal with that mentally, who's to say that they won't off themselves or try to get rid of that baby if it's taken over, the options to take it away.
Well, I mean,
Goodness.
So
I mean,
there are
if we're going to talk
extenuating
about
circumstances
Mhm.
for abortion, and I will address them right now. We've got less than 3 minutes before our break, and it'll take about that long. There was a girl that I was in the maternity ward with me, and I was getting ready to give birth to my daughter. She was in the bed next to me crying, and I couldn't understand why. And it's because she was having to abort her baby because the baby's heart was only half developed. The child would not have lived.
Well,
that's an extenuating circumstance that the doctor told her that child is not going to live.
So
it only has half a heart.
Right.
It will not live outside of the womb.
Right.
She had to make that decision.
I was faced with with a decision with my twin boys. Okay. William he had so many issues, and early on in the pregnancy, they had told me if I abort William, Matthew would absorb him. Matthew would be perfectly fine. My husband and I discussed the options and everything, and we chose not to abort William. We chose that because I was so far along already. I would have had to go to Texas because they did it further along.
A partial birth?
Huh?
It's like a partial birth.
They would have aborted, but also when they did everything, got all the tests done and did all the sonograms and everything, it also looked like that William and Matthew were feeding off the same umbilical. So chances are if we bought one, we bought them both. So giving all the information that was given to us, we chose to wait it out, which I wound up delivering at 26 weeks, the twins. They weren't feeding on the same umbilical. They were in separate sacs. And William did die. Matthew survived, but he has a lot of medical issues. So, so you live with the shoulda, coulda, woulda. If I did this, would Matthew be okay? So you live with those questions. But at the end of the day, that was my decision to make, and I made it together with my husband. He was
okay. So if they reversed Roe versus Wade, I mean, you would not have had that choice. Right. And I'm sorry, I just have to bring that up because,
right.
You at that time had a choice.
Right.
And I'm not advocating for anything, you guys. So please don't, come down on me or anything.
No, that's what I was
Well, no,
trying to
I
say.
mean, that's why we have this show.
There's circumstances.
Conversation, not confrontation.
Right.
So, if they overturn Roe v. Wade, you would not have even had the choice.
Right.
So where does that put other mothers, or other soon-to-be mothers, or ones that That's why I am just like, it is not up to me. You have to make that decision for yourself, and between you and your creator, between you and what you believe. I love you no matter what. So I've made bad decisions in the past, and God, thank you for still letting me be alive, because I mean, there's this stuff that I've done that it's pretty bad. But
we got to go on break, so why don't we
we do
on when we get back, and we can pick up with you again, Tina. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just
no, it's fine. I actually need to go, so I have to go to the bathroom. You guys know me.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll be back too.
All right,
let's hear some of that, Michael.
We're gonna go on a break, everyone. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
I ain't giving up. They can try and tear me down, but that will never be enough. Till every bone breaks and I'm covered in blood. I'ma fight till my heart don't pump. Every night that the light don't come, I'ma rise like I'm the sun. I'ma grind my knife, I'ma shine my gun. I'ma dry my eyes, never bite my tongue. I'ma climb to the heights and I'll strike at dawn. I'm a soldier loaded, so devoted, only focused on the goals I've chosen. What is most important is forward motion. I ain't never slowing down for no more explosions. On a warship floating in the coldest ocean. Storm rolled in and my clothes are soaking. Y'all don't want a war when the snow starts blowing and my hands are frozen to the guns I'm holding.
I won't give up, I won't turn around. Tell them if I ain't enough, let them shoot me down. In my whole life I ran from the fight, 'cause my whole life I lost every time. But I won't give up, I ain't backing down. I ain't giving up. All my time it took too much. All that grind I kicked up dust, left you behind like, so what? I make moves, you ride my wave. I quit now, you just dead weight. No umbrella, safety's off. I'ma have to let it rain. I'm waiting for the door to open. On the other side with 2 guns loaded. Looking at the time like it's almost the moment. Cross that line, I'ma off my opponent. Condolence. Take that L and hold it, wave that flag, you fold it, you know it, you drowning in this ocean. I won't give up, I won't turn around. Tell them if I ain't enough, let them shoot me down. In my whole life I ran from the fight, 'cause my whole life I lost every time. But I won't give up, I ain't backing down. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. I ain't giving up until they kill me or I win it. If I gotta be a soldier, I'ma be a soldier. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. I ain't giving up until they kill me or I win it. If I gotta be a soldier, I'ma be a soldier. I won't give up, I won't turn around. Tell them if I ain't enough, let them shoot me down. My whole life I ran from the fight,
'cause my whole life I lost every time, but I won't give up. I ain't backing down.
Okay.
And we're back.
Hey.
Well, most of us are back.
Yeah, Tina will be back.
Must have been a cue.
So I just, I had time to think while we were on our little break. And I don't want to come off like, I'm this horrible person. I believe in everybody has a right to their body, their choice. And it gets back to the vaccines and the mandates and all that stuff.
Whew.
It's they're forcing everything on us to make decisions for ourselves. And
I'll be right back. Sorry, guys.
Well, they're taking away
Sigh of relief.
They're taking away our choices.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And
telling
just
us
like
what we can
Christy's,
do with our bodies.
well, it's just like Christy's like, they're putting it in the state's hand. They're taking it out of the federal court's hand.
Yeah.
Where it never should have been to start with.
I also was thinking about what happened years ago before Roe versus Wade. They had these back alley abortion butchers.
Nope. And you're right, Ron. And nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Are we going to go back in time again?
Yes, we will.
No.
We will. If they take it out, we will. I mean, it will be up to each state, but I mean, if you really want one, a safe one, you can drive to another state, right?
And I believe every state that limit abortion.
I can't. I'm just going to go back to, I have to leave it up to that person and their creator.
I think right. I think everybody is responsible for their choices. And at the end of the day, you are responsible for the choices you make in your life, whether it's abortion, whether it's killing someone, whether it's anything that's against the law or anything,
Okay, let me ask you this. How many fathers out there have lost the chance to be fathers because their girlfriends or their wives decided they didn't want to have a child?
Right.
Some of them don't even know.
Right.
And
I know for one, my ex-husband, his number 2 wife did that to him. It devastated him.
Right. I think Vincent and I had this conversation a while back on one of his shows about the choices of and leaving the husband or the boyfriend or fiance, whoever it is, out of that element of choice. Ultimately it is, unfortunately it's the woman's body, her choice, whether she wants to continue on with the pregnancy or not.
But the man should have a say so in whether or not he can have access to that child's life.
And there's a lot of deception too, because like you said, they don't even know. So they don't tell them, they go take care of it and then it's done. And they just go on with life and not even knowing there was a child conceived. So
I mean, Roe v. Wade is a very controversial thing, but how many women who've had abortions have gone on to form addictions and fall in deep depressions over this?
Right.
Well, let's talk about Naomi Judd. Let me put her picture up here because I mean, she wrote a book and she just killed herself this last weekend.
Well, it's not been confirmed that she's killed, but it's suspected that she is. She has.
And she committed suicide, and it was from mental stuff. But I mean, she put a book out. I mean,
she's basically suffered from depression and anxiety her whole life. She couldn't even go out on stage without her mama being there.
No, I know. No, Naomi. That's Winona couldn't. But I mean, Naomi wrote a book in 2017 about her struggles with depression and mental illness, but it also talked about what she went through with when she got married very young, and
Mhm.
she was raped over and over again. Um, it's called A River of Time. If you guys want to, look that book up, but she
Yeah.
went through, I don't know if she got pregnant other than the two girls that she has, but she was raped.
Right.
And so what do you guys feel about that? I mean, you get raped and you get pregnant. So
Well,
what are you going to do?
both of her
I-
daughters have a mental instability issues. They
Well,
all three
and
of them.
Naomi came out, advocating
So did
for,
Wyona.
mental illnesses.
Wyona came out about her mental illnesses, and we all know that Ashley definitely has problems.
Well, I
But
mean, I don't know. I haven't looked that up, but I know
yeah,
Naomi Judd, she killed herself. But she'd been battling this her whole life, but I mean, she had been married young, but she had been raped, and incestuous stuff too. And I don't want to put that out there for my own
Well,
thing, but I was dealing with incestuous stuff in my own family, and thank God I hadn't taken my life yet, but I still have issues that come up, when I sleep, and I wake up and it's just like panic, you know. Um, I
okay.
fortunately
What
never
about
had
the
to deal
morning
with an
after pill?
abortion. I I don't know.
right.
If they
Is
report it as rape,
is that going to be covered in this? You know what they're doing with the
it's
Supreme
part of
I
a
Court?
mean,
medical
you can go
procedure.
to the pharmacy and just get the morning after pill. You don't need a prescription for it.
That's
No,
right.
all you got to do is go up to the pharmacy and ask them. But at the
Right.
same time, if we're talking about, mental illnesses or depression or, killing yourself over something
Well,
like this, it's hard to determine how you feel about it, because what if it happened to you in the past, the same things that they're talking about, you know? And then you get these people
Well,
that are all up in your face, I'm going to blah, 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 blah. How does that affect you?
well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they went on. I mean, they all went on to successful lives. They're so. I don't know.
You can
I
still be
mean, look at Robin
successful and
Williams.
still
Robin
have,
Williams committed suicide.
right.
So
You
I
can still
mean,
be successful and still have mental illness and, just,
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, at some point they're coping. At some point. Um, you know, what medications are they on? Were they on? A lot of these medications they put them on gives you suicidal thoughts. What are the
oh,
circumstances that led up
I'm going to
to
okay.
talk
that?
I got something to say here. Roe v. Wade, whenever it was signed in, definitely did help women in cases of rape and incest or problem pregnancies. But today, our medical standards are higher. We have other options.
Mhm.
It does not belong in the federal hands. It belongs in the state hands and that person's hands. But
Right.
by the same token, the father has a choice. He should be given a right to say, hey, if you don't want to raise this child, give it to me. I will raise it.
Well, you know what it boils down to is like teaching your kids abstinence. Parents being parents.
There you go.
Teaching
Teach your
kids
kids to keep their
values.
legs together.
Right. Teaching
Sex
your
is
children
not
values. Bring them to
sex is
church.
not a sport.
Right. There's too
And
many.
that's the way people are viewing it now.
Look at how these kids dress today. They're kids that should be dressing like kids, not adults. Parents buy their children these provocative clothes, They send them out into the world. What do you think's going to happen to their kids? Guys are going to prey on them because they see their body, and guys are guys. You know, it's like, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Vincent. I don't know. But, you know, guys they have that breeding instinct. You know, they look for someone to mate with. And these kids, you know, look like women, young women. And so you get I'm tell you what, I saw a sick, and I have the video. It's a 4-minute video, but it's about a the way this guy is talking about children of 10 years old want to have sex with them. So, I mean, I was disgusted with it, but you know, I mean, this is, you're sending your girls out. Dress your girls down. I'm not saying make them dowdy or anything, but cover their body up. Make sure that when they leave the house, they have clothes on their body, not midriffs that show.
And don't have a teacher at school teaching you about, you know, your English teacher teaching you about, you know, sex and transgenderism and this and that. You know, it's I was a teenager. I was sneaking out when Mom, if you're still here, I'm sorry, but she knows. We've already talked about it. I was sneaking out when I was 13. I was sneaking out when I was 14. I was sneaking out when I was 15. I left home when I was 16, you know, and at that point I could do whatever I wanted. I was one of the luckier ones as far as being 16 and I left home that I didn't get pregnant. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't go into being a drug addict, you know. Some family members that similar things happen and it didn't happen that way for them. But I was actually lucky that I had older brother and sister that I watched that stuff happened to them that I didn't let happen to myself, you know. And please don't think I'm dogging my mom or my dad, you know, in their raising of me, but there were just some kids that, like me, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want when I get to a certain age, you know, and, but at that point, the parent needs to be there and support them in the choices that they've made or decided to do. You can't put it all back on the parents because at a point, I mean, I was freaking 13 years old and I'm sneaking out.
Well, I'm not putting it on all on the parents. I mean, I was a social worker, so I've seen what you name it. I've seen it.
I hid it from my parents.
Well,
you know?
I mean, I used to leave pamphlets around for my kids and their friends about sexual transmitted diseases. And, you know, I was raised in a strict home. You know, I raised my kids exactly the way I was raised. I was strict with my kids. I didn't let them go wandering off. I was, you know, I knew I was one, like I've said it many, many times, probably on this show and other shows. I knew where my kids were 24/7. Yes, my daughter, when she got older,
What is up with the network y'all had?
We're probably getting censored because we're discussing
stuff.
Yeah. Disinformation.
Well, no, these are human thoughts.
Exactly.
So fact checkers, fact check it. We're talking about the hard stuff.
Is it already? Oh my goodness! Let's go to the, George Orwell, 1984. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah. So anyway, you know,
Big Brother's watching.
I talked to my kids. My kids could come to me about stuff. And yes, did my kids try to? I
thought my kids could come to me.
But mine, you know, they still do, and there's still an open book. Sometimes it's TMI for me, but, you know. But that's how I raised my kids. That no matter what, they could come to me. You know what?
Well, that's where we're at now.
Unpredicted sex and cause Democrats.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, unprotected. Okay.
Unprotected.
Anyway, I didn't raise no Democrat, by the way.
but
I didn't either.
I mean, my kids are both Republicans, so I did something right.
No, mine have been
That was
changing their
mine.
minds. So anyway,
Well, I mean, I honestly, growing up, I don't know what my parents were. It was never discussed. Politics weren't a discussion. Nobody talked about politics back then, especially to your children. What you believed
Oh, I
in,
couldn't say
they-
that.
in my household, I didn't know what my parents were. It was what they believed years ago. It wasn't a conversation that you had at the table during my time of growing up, and I never heard my relatives and my parents talking about it. If they did, if we weren't around. It was kept very private.
Well, that's because we were outside having fun.
Yeah, well, right. We were outside playing, doing kid stuff. We weren't. I was, climbing trees, playing baseball,
and having
riding
fun more
horses,
than my mom knew.
whatever. I mean,
We
I was
were raised during the children are better seen than heard era.
right, today. What do
They
children do today? Sit in front of the TV,
They're
playing their
playing video
Xbox.
games. They're
Right,
on their
Learning how-
phones. Or
learning how to do that stuff, and now they have this meta crap. And did you know? I saw a video. Meta is sending out free those little virtual things to kids.
what?
Yeah, we don't need to let them have them. Take a hammer to them.
Well, parents are making videos. Go on TikTok and look. Parents
Is
are
it-
making videos, and the kids are like, "Oh, thank you, Meta, for sending me my virtual thing." Yeah,
Is it?
That's
Is
a
it a
new
square?
form of MK Ultra. It's designed to brainwash you individually.
hmm
Watch the Left Behind series. That's just way they're going to brainwash you. We've quit watching TV.
and parents are clueless. They're allowing their kids to accept these gifts from
The government. And Big
it's come
Pharma.
from Meta. It's come from Zuckerbucks.
I'm sorry, he's
So
the
what-
one that won't let me boost the broadcast here.
Yeah.
So Zuckerberg, read between the lines.
So this is the new way of living. I mean, I know people who have those virtual things. They're on the adult side. I never tried one. I never tried it. I have no interest in doing. I never played video games and things like that. That was never. I mean, I tried like Pac-Man and things like that, but I was never good at it, so it never interested me.
Those were rainy day activities for indoors.
Exactly. Now it's 24/7
well,
because kids stay up
when
more hours
my
than, like,
kids
12.
kids were at home and we were on, they had
Exactly, Vincent.
accounts and all. I was able to see what they were looking at, see what they were doing, and so as a parent, I did keep up with that with them. I don't know what's going on with this generation because my kids are already gone, but I mean, I've got a
I can tell you.
22-year-old and my oldest is 30 now.
I've
So-
got a 3-year-old granddaughter who can operate this phone as well as her mother, if not better.
But
3.
does your daughter keep up with what she's looking at? I
Yes.
mean, or okay, so that's great.
But my
but-
grandson will go through and download every app he can find
See,
that
well,
is related to games.
right. Well, my grandson, I mean, they let him have tablet time, and so does my daughter allows my granddaughter, but they have put what he's allowed to have on there. They monitor it. They,
Well,
they
A lot
it's
of
a child's app or whatever it is, and it has these games on there, and they're educational games, and that's the thing is they watch what he does, they monitor what's on his thing, and if he tries to do anything else, he can't do it because it's parental locked. Same thing with my daughter, with my granddaughters. They're
I got a
parental-
friend in Oklahoma that they got a phone for their 10-year-old son. That way during certain hours, it's accessible by phone and text.
Mm-hmm.
He can play games on it, but there are strict guidelines and limitations on that phone that at a certain time, unless mom or dad keys in the code, that
Right.
phone is unaccessible.
Right. Right. And I mean, I know a lot of people with their kids that, when I hear, parents saying, "Oh, I got to get my kid a phone," I'm like, why? I grew up without a phone.
Well,
I
you
have-
never know nowadays.
It's disinformation.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Well,
I'm
we're-
going to
we're
tell
not
you,
rais-
your kid needs a phone as soon as he gets to where he can do other activities that you are not there to be with him.
We
Yeah.
didn't
Or
raise
her.
any Democrats. We didn't raise no Democrats.
Yeah.
Vince.
We didn't raise Democrats,
teasing.
but by the same
I'm
but
teasing,
by the
but-
same token, those kids need to be able to contact you in case they're abducted
Yes.
or whether
yes.
there's a shooting.
I got my 9-year-old, and
phone's
that's
on
what,
the kitchen.
he's 22 now, but I got my 9-year-old a phone
Vincent's
or-
hot tonight.
to take to school
I see that.
because I was working, and and then there was all these damn shootings at schools and stuff. I wanted him to be able to contact me,
Right.
but I left unlimited text and all of that because they text their friends and stuff. But I was able to do his phone from my phone and see what he was doing.
Mhm.
So it's just a matter of, it still is a matter of the parents being involved and looking at what their kids are doing.
And you
know,
can
and-
also turn on
Being
the
present,
tracking
going back to
device
Parents
so that
being
you know where your
Well,
kid's at.
Yes, and that too,
Mhm.
because at that time I was not with his dad, so I needed to know if I needed to go get him because I didn't trust his dad.
I didn't have.
So
Yeah, I didn't have phones back when my kids were. It was just a matter of knowing who their friends were, who their parents were, having the phone numbers. If they say they're going to be one place, you just, I mean, we didn't have phones with my kids back then.
I never.
Back when your kids were young, they had the big boxy bag phone types
Right. And I didn't
that had to required a cigarette lighter to charge them.
Right. And I had a beeper that I used to carry
it
around
was this
for-
big and it had an antenna.
I know. A friend of mine had it, and I was like, "That's really cool."
I had
And
a
then
I
thought
had
about
a I
it,
had a
like, no,
beeper when
don't
I was
want
a
one.
teenager.
I didn't.
I
I had a
didn't.
beeper when I was a teenager. Mhm.
Right. And beepers were the
I
thing to
did.
do,
Mhm.
thing to have.
Yeah.
And I never put a beeper on my kids because I used to have to wear one for work, and so many times I wanted to throw it out the window because I would have to hunt for a phone, which you can't find a payphone anymore. So, they did it. So that's the thing, is they did away with all these things to lead up to where we are now, to make.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of that Overton window. They push you one way and then they back off and then they'll push you a different way.
yeah,
And
But look what Ruth put up here. I mean, kids are smart. I
Mhm.
mean, if they
Yep.
know they're being tracked by their parents, then yeah, they're gonna leave it someplace or a grandparent. But
Right.
yeah, they're smart
Right.
as hell.
Right. Yeah. And well, that's the thing, is that kids today, there's too many options for them to be bad.
hey, nowadays kids won't even figure that one out.
Right, Philly?
I did that when I was a kid. I did that when I was a kid with our neighbors in one of our houses. But yeah, that was
Yeah, but
interesting, and it
there's
works. It works.
There's just too
And
much
it does
stuff
work.
out there for kids to get in trouble with. And, and I get that, I mean, I had to, trust me, I had to readjust to kids having phones and stuff like that, because my first thought was, why would you give your kid a phone that's giving them access to everything? But like I said, I didn't know about, because I come from my kids didn't have phones and I didn't have to worry about that stuff. But now, they have all these parental things, and they even have it on the TVs and stuff, like the parental controls. So, but
So do you guys think the government is trying to treat us like we would treat our children, and trying to, with the governance board that they're trying to implement? I mean, they're trying to treat us like we're children, you know?
I think they're
Uh,
trying to make our children grow up.
Obama's
way
already
before
stood
they
up in front of the World Leader Summit and told them, we don't know what or how to govern ourselves.
Right.
no, I
We're too
understand that
stupid.
too.
We're too stupid. Basically, we're too stupid that we
And
cannot govern ourselves.
but they're
you know,
they are going forward with
I think
this, I want to call it the Ministry of Truth, because that's what it's being called now, with trying to monitor what we're saying, or the I guess it's the Misinformation Governance Board. I don't know. Um,
disinformation.
yeah,
Yeah,
disinformation. But
yeah.
It's
so
another
are they?
salary for censorship.
And the woman that they put in charge of it, she's like,
Yeah, she's the Russian disinformation that
Czar.
truth,
oh
some
my gosh.
truthers or whatever it's called. Who knows? They come up. It's like that's what we were sitting there saying. I mean, do they all sit in class and say, well, okay, let's have the best name for what? Let's invent a name for. Let's have another board. Let's have another board. Just like this J6 board that they're doing absolutely nothing. And what are they there for? Nothing's happening.
To
with
cost us money.
Exactly. They're finding ways to tax us more and more and more, and we're paying for it. And people are just sucking it up and paying for it. They're not fighting back. They're not saying anything. They read the stuff, they bitch and moan. But you know what? You need to get out there and you need to complain. Complain to your representatives in your area, saying, "I'm done with this crap. This needs to end." Vote against
We'll
it.
see, but
You either vote for me or you're out.
the Ministry of Truth. It's actually from a book called 1984. It was written by George Orwell in 1948.
Hey, honey,
I haven't
daughter.
read it yet. Actually, it is on order. I just ordered it from Amazon because I am going to read it, and that is where the term "Big Brother" comes from that book, and the Ministry of Truth is just similar to what they're trying to implement right now.
Right.
And it's kind of freaky, This book was written in 1948. So
well, it's like what Vincent said. It's old news. Will never happen. There's no way they're going to shut us up. There's no way. They can try, but we're always like children. We will find a way to get our truth out there.
That's right. And we're not going to stop trying. We will
Love you,
not go
Vince.
quietly into the night. We will
No.
not go down without a fight.
Night, Vincent.
Night, Vincent. Hey, Laura.
No, we are not going to go quietly into the night.
No.
Not when we still have a voice. That's the whole thing, is if we still have a voice, you need to say something. You need to get it out there.
That's why we're getting Twitter back. Thank you, Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, seems like Elon is doing what he's supposed to be doing so far. Let's see. Well, time will tell.
I can't wait for him to go
I
after
don't have
Facebook.
faith in anybody. Actions speak louder than words. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, there's
that's
your
my
daughter.
daughter. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hey.
I say hi to her.
Hi, Laura.
Y'all are slow. I saw that and as soon as it popped.
Stacy.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about 1984 with George Orwell, and then I started thinking about, the alien thing, the book that he did way back when. I forget the name of it, but anyway.
So, but Stacy is my daughter's name. Winter is one of my granddaughters, and Alora is the little one.
Oh, okay. Well, hi, Stacy. Hello. Glad
hey,
you're
ladies,
here.
how are you doing?
Yeah.
Glad you're here. Glad you're here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's kind of taken a break from everything. She's everybody knows she's military. So she's been having some stressful times. Everybody thinks that, being in the military is an easy life. It's not. She deals with daily struggles daily. And it's,
Absolutely.
you know, and I hope she doesn't get mad at me, but I'm not going to, name names or anything. But, our military is not what it used to be. The military,
No, it isn't.
the military, when you went through boot camp, you used to be, when you came out of boot camp, you were a soldier through and through. You weren't a whiny little baby that came up with every excuse not to be at work.
Yeah.
And that's what our military has come down to now, is that, oh, you have a headache? Okay, well, because, oh, I upset you? I'm so sorry. Go home, rest.
I need to go to my safe space.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So, my
Wow.
daughter, when she is probably one of the last of the soldiers of all times that went through the rigorous. I didn't think my daughter, because my daughter is a twig. She's a little thing, and I'm very proud of her. But she made it through boot camp, and when they told you drop and give you 50, you dropped. You didn't say, "Here's my stress card."
I have a headache.
You're being too mean. You dropped.
I have a sore finger.
Exactly. There's no such thing as I can't do it. You
Yeah.
do it, or you're going to be doing it all night. They can't do that stuff anymore. They can't reprimand their soldiers. They can't do anything, and it's ridiculous. And my daughter vents a lot to me, and and I've talked to my son, who also, he went in back in the early 2000s, and he was put through the same rigorous boot camp as my daughter. And my son said, he goes, I could not be a sergeant or, NCO in the military now and deal with these soldiers that come out of there that are babies.
Bullshit.
They're spoon fed, and they're patted on the back saying, "It's okay, it's okay."
It's not kindergarten. It's not kindergarten.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
come on.
Well, I mean, one time I was
doing to an adult, and that's what it's like in the military now.
I was delivering over at Fort Bragg. I had 15 stops.
Mm-hmm.
I got to this one stop, and this guy, I was in the back of the trailer bringing freight to the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Are you going to take it inside?" I said, "No, it's your job to take it inside." And he turned around. I made 2 trips to the nose of the trailer and back to the end of the trailer. That's 53 foot.
Right.
And he was still standing there trying to figure out who he was going to delegate to tote. And I said, "Sir, I really don't have time for you to figure out who you're going to delegate to tote. Grab some boxes, sir." And he grabbed boxes.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
Look, when I got a job to do, I got a job to do. This new military,
Yes.
it's all about passing the buck. And I'm going to tell you, on Fort Hood, I had 15 stops on that base.
My daughter
I'm going to tell you, most of the men are sitting back and delegating the responsibility of offloading the freight.
Well, when my daughter
when you're offloading military track, that's 3,600 pounds a track.
Yeah.
And I'm having to get in there and boost them and drag them out.
Well, my daughter, when she came from basic and went to Fort Hood, and
God bless her.
She used to get smoked all the time, just for the little things. They can't smoke them anymore. They can't smoke them. And and those that don't know what smoking is basically drop and give me 50. Reprimand them. Now it's like basically like going to work. You get written up. And
then you get a timeout.
Right. Well, no. I mean, it does hurt you as far as ranking up. It doesn't look good on your record. But, sometimes the administration, the higher ups in the unit, don't want that person written up. They don't let them write them up for the things that they're doing, and then they rank up because they have no reprimands. So if you kind of get in the
It's
picture,
sort of like
that's-
no child left behind policies in the military.
Yeah, well, would you want one of them having your back out on the field?
No.
Me.
Hell no.
Not me.
No.
Exactly.
Hell no.
When you have your battle buddy is supposed to have your back. And these battle buddies that are coming out of basic right now, I wouldn't pay them to have my back.
No.
Well, wait a minute. They are getting paid to have your back.
Sort of. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt
but-
you. Okay.
Well, I mean,
But
it comes down to a lot of, what even going on with Ukraine and stuff. I mean, these people are fighting for their country, even if we don't agree with, some of Zelensky's BS. But I wanted to bring up India because Russia is going to be able to continue with this war. And I mentioned, and
I
this
wanted
wasn't
to address Ruth's thing real quick when you're done.
okay, but this was something that it was shown to me anyway. But India is getting involved now too. Russia's going to be able to continue because India has now started to buy all of Russia's oil.
Mhm.
Okay, so they are not going to have to stop. Doesn't matter what sanctions that we have here in the United States against them. Russia is not going to stop. And they can still afford to continue to keep going. They are allies. And allies with China as well, because China is going to continue to buy from Russia as well. So if you guys think this is going to be over anytime soon, it's not going to be over anytime soon. So the United States needs to get that out of all of this and bring everything back and take
they're
care
not
of our
going
own-
to.
I know, but they
Biden
need
has to
they need
protect
to.
the Russian,
They need
the
to.
Ukrainian oligarch
Mm-hmm.
because
So-
they have the dirt on him and his son.
Yeah, I believe so.
But it,
$33 million worth of dirt.
It might be up to Russia to continue to expose it. So
And we're paying
and-
for it.
Do you think that they're extorting the administration?
Hell
which
yes.
one? Which one?
Zelensky is extorting the U.S.
Oh yeah, well, he only asked for $2 billion, and we're sending 33 billion,
Why exactly?
right? He
But
only
the thing is,
Somebody's
asked.
paying somebody some hush money.
Well, the thing is too, is it actually all going to them? Because don't forget that Biden he had 9 million and only claimed he had 5.2 million unclaimed, whatever. I can't remember how it was. Where's Vincent?
He's in bed.
he went to bed
But but on his taxes.
on
okay.
taxes. On
Sorry,
taxes. Yeah.
I told you my
That-
head. What do you
I'm
call
going
it?
to tell you, Biden is. He's about
They're
as dirty a
crooked.
politician as we have
Yeah.
ever had.
Well, think about it. How is Obama living in Martha's Vineyard on a president's salary?
Retirement. He got all that good insider trading, just like Nancy Pelosi, and she's giving it over to her son to make the trades for her.
I think there was more than trading. I think Ukraine played a part in it. I think pedophilia plays a part in it. The trafficking of children. They're getting rich off of.
Yep.
They have their hands. Even they have their hands in this COVID vaccine. They're benefiting from us. They're
Yeah,
Well,
they-
look,
wake up.
these COVID vaccines are proven by Israel in studies to show that it is increasing heart deficiencies. It's weakening the hearts
Yeah.
of not only the adults, but the
Mhm.
children.
Is it called myocarditis?
Would we want to take it?
Myocarditis.
Myocarditis. Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and I just have to
And-
say, my daughter
and-
said hell to
and-
the no, and I'm assuming that's
And
to say have
Stomach
that back.
issues and
They're having
kidney
whoop,
issues.
mhm,
Um,
lung
Whoop!
issues.
I done ticked somebody off
Why?
uh-oh.
because we all started going crazy here.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Looks fine on
okay.
my end.
Oh yeah, half of what y'all said didn't come
Oh,
through.
well,
All right, honey.
she loves you too.
I
Glad
love you
you were
too.
Night,
here.
girl. Thank you for serving
You guys got to
this
meet
insane
my wife.
world.
She's such a
Yes,
sweetheart.
thank you.
She's a
Thank
tough
you.
cookie, and you know,
Hmm.
and she, when she talks to me, I forget, now, as we're older, now the friendship has formed, and and Mike, like I said, my kids still talk to me, and sometimes it's a little more than they should be talking to me, but
No.
but but she will talk to me, and I will give her, I'm I don't go for the crap. I will tell her that, well, this is what you need to do, but on the flip side, she is military, and she has her own command that commands, the chain of command things does, but it's still frustrating, and at least she can come to me and she can vent, and she has somebody. Not everybody has that person that they can
That's right.
call, and they hold it in, and then all of a sudden one day they reach, especially, that's what I'm saying, in this whole time now, that they reach their limits, especially with this administration not getting the support that they need, and they're making
Well,
all
it's
these
causing
changes in the military.
it's
You know,
causing a whole new
That
level of
that's
depression, not only between our troops, but through the American public.
right? I think it's
Everybody needs to
PTSD.
find somebody that they can reach out to.
Right, right,
If you see somebody
okay.
struggling, give a helping hand.
right.
Be there for them. Sometimes all you got to
Well,
do is listen. Don't have to talk.
the thing about it too, I mean, they're trying new drug therapies, and do you guys
True.
hear about the
Really?
ketamine drug therapies? Anybody?
Excuse me a minute.
They are. Anybody here know about Special K? You know that they
Nope,
were doing
I
it
haven't heard.
doing in clubs or buying, and then
Sorry.
government got
That's the
involved.
new drug that's out, right? That's causing all the hallucinogenics.
It's Special K, and they're doing that in drug therapies with depression, and especially with the veterans. Okay, um, I I can't confirm this, but I'm going to put it out there because I'm just going to think, because Naomi Judd, she was going out trying to get different therapies for depression, and ketamine therapies are something that they're trying with new treatments for depression and stuff. I, depression, it is something that it is so prevalent right now in our country, and it's not, veterans especially, but also with just us normal everyday people. uh, it's a difficult situation, and with our children, our younger people, they don't know how to deal with life. I just put the banner up there, National Suicide Prevention Hotline, and with the veterans, it's just a little different.
Well, the
You
veterans
dial the
that
number
they
and you press 1, and that's if you're a veteran, if you're dealing with depression or PTSD. This is the one that they were listing when I looked it up. But you guys, any of you guys out there, if you're dealing with depression itself, if you're thinking about taking your own life, call this number. Or contact one of us. I mean, we will talk to you. We will talk you
Yeah.
through it. We will try to get you the help that you need.
try
But please, or share our show, just so this might reach somebody,
It's
especially a veteran.
There's
I'm
always
going.
somebody
I'm
to listen.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's always somebody out there that gives a damn about you.
Yes.
Reach out.
Whether you know them or not, there's always
Yes.
somebody that's out there.
I
to
mean,
listen.
I've been asleep and these ladies have called me. I didn't mind. But they needed to talk, so we
Mhm.
talked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know
We've
what?
had
I
many
love them.
conversations to the wee early mornings. I think
Mm.
This
Oh
show
my
has
God.
been
You
4 in the
hurt
morning one
me one
night.
day.
this show has been a lifeline for me. And I'm going to tell you right now, as a truck driver, we are not allowed to take any mood altering drugs.
Right.
Mhm.
We have to suck it up and suffer through it or give up our CDLs.
Well, the new
And you know
therapy, one of the new therapies is a ketamine therapy for depression. So that would not even be an option for you, Sally, if you were suffering from depression. It is really
And
addictive. I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell you, all drivers out here suffer from depression.
I
This is
believe
the
it.
only job where you work solely alone, or unless you're a team, and it's usually a husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge issue with truck drivers. It's a huge issue with military truck drivers. The military
Yes.
tells the drivers when they're leaving, think about going into truck driving because you can control your own environment.
Mm-hmm.
However, they do not tell them they cannot take the mood altering drugs. That's why most of us have a dog or a cat or God forbid a snake or a
I gotta go.
monkey.
I gotta drop down.
You can get all kinds of
Well, I even
animals in these
saw a guy.
trucks.
Yeah, I saw a guy with a pet pig.
You know,
One day.
there are emotional support
and-
animals. If you
Yeah.
are a veteran or if you're suffering from depression and you feel like nobody gives a damn about you,
Mm-hmm.
get you a dog, get you a cat, get you something who's going to love you back unconditionally.
Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
major therapy for me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
52 years old. My kids are all raised. They're all living their life. I get to see them from time to time.
You have
But
Branch.
for 99% of the time, I am alone. And during COVID, it just torqued my shorts to not be
bet.
able to see somebody else's face or hear what they're saying because they had a mask on. That human
Me too.
interaction is vital for people.
Me too. I mean, I have most of my clients, I've had them for like, oh my gosh, 15, 20 years now. So I know what they look like, and they know what I look like. But at the same time, I now I don't go in with my mask anymore. So they're like, oh, I can see your face, and I've never made them wear a mask if I'm in their house unless they wanted to,
Yep.
But yeah, it's just like, oh, I can see you now, and absolutely. But you do have Branch, which I am so grateful that
Sorry.
you have your baby,
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's still scrolling there for the veterans. You guys, if you need help,
Yep.
or if there is something that's going on, call that number and press 1. That's what
And
I
if
looked
you
up,
are if you are self-medicating, listen closely. Stop it. It only adds to your problem.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but if you're self-medicating, you can't maybe differentiate between that, but call. Make the phone call. You are important. Everybody is extremely important in this world, and we need you here. Do not make that decision and take your life. Just call somebody, contact one of us. I mean, we're listed here in our.
We'll talk with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You contact me. I'll send you my phone number. If you're for real, I'll talk to you.
You can message any of us.
Yes. Absolutely.
You can go to the
Yes.
Conservative View Facebook page, YouTube,
Twitter. We're on Twitter now,
Twitter,
apparently.
Twitch, all of our platforms. You can contact one of us.
Yeah.
If you're a male and you don't feel comfortable talking to us, there are other males on this network.
And
You
they're
got
all
Cameron,
veterans.
you got Wally, you've got Vince, you got Carl,
Mhm.
you got
Yep,
Ron,
Bill of Rights Network. Yep.
you got Luke. I'm going to tell you, there's somebody on this network that's going to be there for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're all veterans. And that's what I love about this.
Well, I'm not, but
Well,
all the
I'm
guys
saying
are.
the guys are, and
We're just moms and grandmas.
Well, I'm a military mom, so I feel like I fit. I'm even though I'm not military, I grew up, in a military family. So
So did I.
from my father,
We didn't have
brother.
family reunions. We had skirmishes.
No. Well, I mean,
Thank goodness we didn't have a skirmish at my daddy's 80th
well, that's
birthday.
good. Well, there
Well,
shouldn't
when you
be,
get all the
because they're
kids
there for a
together, there's
purpose.
always going to be a fight.
Yeah. Thanks,
Good night,
Bobby.
Bobby. Hey, I wanted to
Bobby.
touch base with Ruth real quick on that thing that she had said earlier, that they had one. You had one that that they went up against the Ruth. I wish Ruth could. They went up against something. There was money being missing. I guess they were. Ruth, can you enlighten us again on what that was? I'm so sorry. But they won. I guess they control the money or whatever it is that they do. It's kind of, is he like a in her town? The town, they won the township. That's why I put it up there earlier.
We can go back to it.
Let's see.
Township just won big time. We impeached 2 people and won big time.
Right.
But I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, when you get the
history
dirty,
of that.
get the bad eggs out, you usually do win. You get the control back over
Well, I mean,
your government.
California's trying to get rid of Newsom, and that's not happening. So
Moving out of California, Mom.
yeah, I'd be gone. I used to live in California. My son was born in California, but it's not what it is now. It
No.
wasn't.
They're moving out in droves.
I know.
Moving out in droves, and
My
yeah.
thing is that they're coming here to Florida too. I mean, people from New York and all that. I'm just saying, you want to come to Florida, that's great, but don't come in here and think that you're going to vote for the crap that you ran from in New York and voted into Florida, because there's more Republicans and we are done. We are done with the Democrats and how they run our country and everything.
Well, hopefully,
Sort of
the
like
ones
my
moving
shirt
out of California
says,
are done with them too.
we got this.
Yep,
That's
we
right.
got this.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's.
Yep.
it
This is
used to
going to be my new shirt
let's
show.
go. Now it's let's freaking go.
That's right.
We're done.
By the
And-
way, the food shortages are coming. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. All these
Yep.
food plants are getting burned up and
Mhm.
collided into,
Just be aware.
and
Yep.
Be aware.
it's hurting. Yeah.
So,
Grow your garden, folks. Grow your garden.
couple
Walmart,
minutes.
co-ops, Orscheln's, feed supplies.
mhm.
They all
Yeah.
have seeds. Go buy you a little bunch of seeds and start growing your garden.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I
need
didn't
it.
say toilet paper shortages, so don't go out there and just
So we've
run out the
got
stores.
No,
a
we
minute
don't.
left to the show. So, everybody, if you want to know about all our programs, head over to the Bill of Rights Network. There's a whole listing of all the programs on there. We have
Yes,
one-
and yes.
pretty much every night except for Thursdays and Saturdays. I think
Uh,
Sunday's show is on sabbatical. I'm not quite sure if our After 9 show is going to continue on. I know we had it last night, but I think that I guess we have to get with Carl on that one about the After 9 show on Monday nights. But
Tom McDonald is dropping a new song.
I'm not sure if that's what
Tom McDonald. He's dropping a new song on Friday.
Oh, okay,
absolutely.
cool. What's the name of it?
Mm-hmm. We don't know yet.
We don't know. He hasn't released it. All right, folks, be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 5 p.m. for Vincent's Voice.
Yep.
Friday night, 6 p.m., Second Amendment Ranch. And at 8, we have Free Speech, Stop Stupidity, or whatever it is.
Right.
You will love those 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you, Mama.
So,
thank you.
Tina, will you take us out with prayer?
Oh my goodness. I did it last time, but you know what? That's okay because I can say a prayer every minute if you guys want me to. But Heavenly Father, I pray that you bless all of the people here with us tonight. I pray that you bless all of the moms who are trying to make decisions, that you guide them and help them and let them know that you love them. Even if Roe versus Wade is overturned, that they don't have to turn to an alternative method, that they know that you love the children that are growing inside of them. Father, I pray that we as people don't put our own judgment into decisions, for an individual. Father, I pray for this country. I pray for this administration. There is so much that I want to ask you for, except you give me everything that I would ever need. In Jesus' name, I pray that you watch out over all of us. Amen.
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 Thank you.
Love you guys.
Amen. See you next week, folks.
See you next week.
Thank you for stopping by.
Love you all.
Yep.
Love ya.
Ya. Bye.
They separate us from our neighbors and they call it social distancing. It's actually a bigger plan. It's called social conditioning. They took away our privacy. There's always someone listening. The elections planning riots for the citizens. The government has always lied. It's history repeating. But the problem is the schools dumb you down so you believe them. If you try to speak the truth inside a tweet, then they delete it. Whole administration Satanists who claim they praise in Jesus. Every year there's a new name for enemies that we're facing. It's Al-Qaeda, then ISIS, and now American patriots. Who would have thought those who love the country the most would be hated on by folks who call America home? Both political parties are equally just as evil. They've been working for themselves, don't give a damn about the people. Black, white, yellow, brown, humanity needs you. Cause united we stand, divided they will defeat you.
The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American dreams. The world's going crazy and they lying to us. Don't know who to believe, so in God we trust.
Y'all missing what was written in them pages. That was history they wrote, now you want to change it. You racist, you hate this. Why you want us all to be locked up in cages? I can't stand the left, everything they say is depressing. Ship them to the Middle East, they can learn oppression. Believe me, I mean this quite literal. I love liberty, but I liberals. Wear a mask, stay home, complain and moan. Talk about privilege on your phone in your Range Rover, Starbucks, mango, foo-foo, whatever. The cloth I'm cut from can handle any weather. You just paper in the rain, we ain't the same. Stand for the flag, only kneel when I pray. I just pray we go back to the old days, land of the free, home of the brave.
The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American dreams. The world's going crazy and they lying to us. Don't know who to believe, so in God we trust.
Yeah.
I see through all the illusions, refuse to humor rumors or accept that we're losing. Easy to get caught up, consumed by the consumer. Truth is so diluted, people starve off the confusion. Comfort is the killer, your dreams execution. Cool with persecution if I make a contribution. Home of the brave look like a mental institution, and there will be revolution if we can't find resolution. And a threat is a promise, stand up, pay homage. They tell lies, I'm being honest, just the time is upon us. I know that God got us, so I'm fighting in his honor. Hear the cries of the crusaders as we're strapping up our armor. Either set a higher ground or drown in their drama. If I die for what I love, then my death will be nirvana. We fighting for our freedom, don't believe what they've been feeding. Be the change you want to see, the warrior that we're needing.
The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American dreams. The world's going crazy and they lying to us. Don't know who to believe, so in God we trust.
We don't trust the news, the government, or pharma. We just want freedom, that you have that to offer. We don't want the lies, the politics, or the drama. We just want the life that was promised by our fathers. We don't trust the news, the government, or pharma. We just want freedom, that you have that to offer. We don't want the lies, the politics, or the drama. We just want the life that was promised by our fathers.
The man on the news says the problem is me. I'm just a small town boy with big American dreams. The world's going crazy and they lying to us.